May the 4th be with you, and in celebration of Star Wars Day, we have got an unboxing and review of Hot Toys' latest figure to be released in the Star Wars collection, which is R2-D2 from Attack of the Clones Anniversary Collection. Not only that, we're going to compare it to our old version, which is the R2-D2 Sideshow, which we've had a few years now, and it's based around New Hope. So let's get into it. So welcome to a long-awaited and asked for Hot Toys unboxing review. We've done a few shorts which cover when we've received Hot Toys in the past. Usually we have Star Wars, most of our collection is Star Wars. At the moment we've got currently 50 plus Hot Toys and Sideshow figures in 1/6 scale, but this one is a special one. We're kind of obsessed with the C-3PO and R2-D2, and this is the perfect time to be doing unboxing. So this is a new Hot Toys edition of R2-D2. They've done one previously which was from one of the later films, but I have a Sideshow one which I've had for a few years now, and that was considerably cheaper than Hot Toys at the time. You can still get it on the secondary market, but I've had issues with it, and I've always been holding out for a new improved R2 from Hot Toys. And sure enough, they delivered. So, as always with Hot Toys and Sideshow, Star Wars has a standard box design. So you've got the grey and the black, and this edition is MMS651 R2-D2, and as you'll see, it's the edition which is attached to the 20th anniversary of episode. So, as I say, standard box artwork for Star Wars figures, especially by Hot Toys, Gentle Giant, etc., is this kind of triangular shape with the grey and black. Right. But with this one, when you open it up, it has beautiful retro carding, a box design, and they really want you to know that it's the 20th anniversary of episode 2. I think that's done as a sticker, yeah, like a foil sticker. So you've got Attack of the Clones, Star Wars, R2-D2, just sort of differentiate. So this is essentially not going to have bits and pieces which you would normally attach to R2 from maybe the original trilogy. However, a lot of the pieces that he used in this movie were actually used later on, so we'll go into that a bit further later on. As you can probably see in the top left hand corner, there is another little extra accessory, but we'll look at that later. This is a very nice sort of thick cardboard box, and it works on a sort of a magnet basis. So underneath there's a magnet that holds this flap open, and voila, you get like a nice window where you can see all the bits and bobs, because it is a really large box. It's actually a bigger box than a normal 1/6 figure can be, and you'd think, why does it need all that space? Well, we'll get into that, but we've got batteries, etc., accessories, and some other little bits and bobs that have never come with R2 before. I'm really excited to look into that. So let's close this up and have a look at the rest of the artwork. So on the sides, you've got another photo, glam shot, I would say, of the figure, Star Wars logo, and then you've got a little description. If you want to pause it right here, you can read that. And then again, this is where you get to see a bit more about what this one can do. And as you can tell, there are a lot of accessories, again with the same warnings that are on the back of the slip box, and then just a Star Wars on the side. I think this is like a Geonosis style, yeah, the Geonosis kind of style artwork. But let's crack this one open and see what it comes with. In a very, very big clamshell design, so plastic protecting everything, and straight away you're right into the accessories. R2 himself, and he's kind of protected by sort of like a soft sort of protective material. Then he also has sponge pads to protect the joints, because things may rub in transport. Let's get him out. Oh, some nice weathering already. So this is a little fold out that comes usually in sort of like a very light coloured sort of grayscale sort of instructions. It's quite hard to read. As you can see, lots of fine print. And because R2 comes with so many accessories, I would suggest strongly, at first glance, I would suggest strongly that you take a look at these instructions. First of all, because there's some bits you need to do before using him, and then if you want to use any of the many accessories, there's a kind of different types of connections and different slots that they go into, and you'll be best looking at this. It also lets you know what the sort of abilities, what extremes you can push things like limbs and joints to. So that's always worth looking at, because it is quite easy to break these things because they are quite fragile, and for the money you pay, you want to look after your investment. But yeah, there's quite a few, and what they've been doing with the Star Wars recently, especially the anniversary, is doing like a weird, basically doing the original poster print on the back, but it's like in a weird grayscale, so it's not as if, I don't think anybody would actually use that and put it on a wall. It's a beautiful piece of artwork. I think it's Drew Struzman, but it's like in a grayscale, so you can't really do much with it. And it's got huge folds in it, so it's nice that they add that to, but I'd rather have like a glossy. Best thing to do before you set them up is pop in his batteries. This is what would contain the batteries. There's quite a few of them. There's actually 3 sets in total, I believe. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 3 there in different sizes. So again, you need to look at the instructions to know which ones are actually going in which slots, because you will also be using this handy little doohickey, which is what looks essentially like a plaque to start off with, but actually this is your remote control for R2. So you will have sounds coming out of him, and also the lights will be essentially fully lit, and you can use this to toggle through the different options. Next up, we've got what is a really nice touch to this particular version of R2, which is his constant companion, and where it all started with C-3PO in Attack of the Clones. And as you can tell, this is not the gold chrome finish you're used to, but it's from the Attack of the Clones, so it's where he's very kind of early stages of his life as a droid, as a protocol droid, and he's all mucked up, and as you can see, no body, because it's the bit in the Battle of Geonosis where he loses his head and it becomes attached to one of the separatist droids. So yeah, that's a really nice touch, and this also opens, and this is where the first lot of batteries went, and you basically have a little switch here, quite bright, in fact very bright, and let's see what it looks like. So you can have that lit up. That's beautiful. That is really nice. There's a nice little attachment here, which you essentially use a magnet and find the sweet spot. So this is like a metal rod, like a very thin rod, and that will attach on it. Oh, there you go, there's a sweet spot. Yeah, that's amazing. So, and it's quite strong, not to the point of, well, yeah, it would carry it like that, but I wouldn't recommend it because it would fall on the ground. But essentially, this is going to be where you can drag, if you want to set it up for that scene where R2 is dragging. Next up, we have his rocket boosters that he used, I believe it was for the first time in Attack of the Clones. Yeah, they're nicely detailed. No light up option, but I think they do come out. Yeah, they pop out. But yeah, that's a nice effect, especially if you've got a lit cabinet to show it in. That will pick up on those. Yeah, they've got like the kind of opaque, frosty see-through, and they'll go on the side, so you've got all the little bits here which will attach. R2 may be small in stature, but his accessories more than make up for it, and this is the tray of all the goods. So you may recognize some, you may not recognize others. So you've got the 2 extendable arms which he uses coming out the top of his dome, well, the side of his dome. You've got the electrocution, which is used quite often in the films, especially in Return of the Jedi, which we've recently seen for the 40th anniversary, against Salacious Crumb, as that was nice that they've added that. You've also got this little doohickey, which is the one you usually see him hacking into the sort of Imperial panels, and then you've got like a spike grab, which you can see here. It's got like sponge on the end, but it's got like a spike in it. This one here, I believe it's from Force Awakens. I can't quite remember the scene, but I'm sure it comes from Force Awakens. That one, again, can't quite picture which one it comes from. The typical grabbing one, which would be possibly the Dagobah, will be the most memorable, where he's fighting against Yoda. And then another one which is very heavily detailed. And then this one is a favourite of mine, which is the antenna. Try and get that out. Which is actually done in a really, really nice piece of metal. And all of these have quite a bit of weight to them. Using real metal pieces and magnets, heavy duty. Yeah, it's very impressive. And then one of the most memorable ones for me, and one we've just seen used in, one we've just seen in the Return of the Jedi anniversary, is the buzzsaw. And this is actually made of metal and actually spins. Lastly, we've got a flight stand, which is the first time ever for an R2 unit. This is because he flies with those little side jets. And yeah, I'm looking forward to using this. I probably won't use it long term. Depends if I end up using him with my Amidala and Anakin that's coming in the future. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what it looks like on this. Quite nicely, it's very firm, tough plastic as well. But enough about the accessories. Let's get into what R2 himself looks like in detail. So here we are, the main man himself, R2. As you can see, it's fully weathered. And actually, because it's from the Attack of the Clones, they've really gone heavy on the weathering, which is what I've been waiting for, is like a really good version of him where he's not spotless and clean, which is pretty much how he spent most of the Skywalker saga. Which is a bit muddied up, a bit worn, a bit used, and that includes the dome. So the dome on this one, unlike the Sideshow, which we'll look at later and compare, is a die-cast dome, and it gives it definitely a lot more weight. Yeah, straight away I'm noticing this is my first die-cast based R2, and it definitely gives it some weight and a bit more quality. Not only that, I'm noticing that the hollow lenses that he uses to do the messages, that is actually like a curved sort of glass effect, whereas the Sideshow not so much. So it's all about the details. And you've got the lights and stuff which you'll have activated shortly, which will be in here. Let's turn him around. Lots of lovely weathering and detail. Very consistent. The bottom has wheels, roller wheels, and of course his third leg, which you simply click, pull, and then as you can see there's a gap there, you can pull it and it clicks into place. So let's see what the mobility options are like. Very sturdy, it's on a click system, straight away, all set up. So obviously this is your standard with no accessories put in. You're going to, a lot of people will just be showing them like this next to their C3PO. That's probably what I'll end up doing to start off with. That changes over time. Sometimes I change up the displays. But yeah, I'm straight away noticing that it is very heavy weathering. Typical sort of weathering style that they use on a lot of their sort of metallic armoured pieces. As most recently the Mandalorian in his full Beskar was kind of a bit too heavily dirtied up, so I end up cleaning mine off with some product to make it a little bit more shiny. This one I'll be leaving though because I want him in a sort of a very well loved condition. Now let's have a look at the light and sound options. So for this you have to, I'm afraid, take his head off. The head is quite easily removable, it's very sturdy, but essentially it has little pegs that go into 3 points here. You've also got these two pipes which are a guide. They go into the base of the neck. These are here because they've got things inside them that we'll show shortly when we do all the accessories on there. But yeah, you've got the battery pack, which is right here, and then the switch here, so we're going to switch that on. There we go. When you switch it on, you'll find that it should come on, just give a blink, and that's on both sides, so from the hollow emitters. So I'm going to pop that back in, click into place. As you can see, very sturdy, doesn't come off. But now he's good to go in regards of light and sound. And that's where this comes in. So the buttons on this are actually the R and the W of Star Wars. So one, oh, helps me switch it on. Okay. One will be lights, one will be sounds. Which one's which? So that's lights. Very strong light. on both ends, so you can see very strong. But let's see if we can get those other ones lit. Cycle it. There we are. That is a really nice effect, and hopefully it's picking up on camera that this one here is like blinking from side to side. Then if we turn him around, we've got the same thing going on the back. Some nice lens flare there. So you've got the green and amber sort of colour on the back, and you've also got, that's really beautifully done. That's really beautiful how they've done that, and it's got a strong light. However, I will point out that quite often Hot Toys batteries don't last very long, and you've got the one in the top as well, which is again very bright. Yeah, that'd be nice. It's a shame that they couldn't introduce the USB lighting that they're going to be doing with lightsabers further down the line. Maybe that's going to be coming in a future edition, because you've got lots of places here that would have plugs. Speaking of which, let's get him talking, shall we? So what's he got to say? Chatty fella. So yeah, he's got a complete range of all the sounds that he makes in the various films. So I'm quite impressed with that, and also the sound comes out of him rather than the actual remote, which was one of my worries, was going to be coming out of the remote, because it makes it easier for them to make the electronics for that. But yeah, the infrared works quite nicely. Let's try it from a distance. Yep. And switch off the lights. You can have it without the lights but still have sound, same as you can have the sound without the lights. Let's pop them back on. Strobe him. So yeah, there's 3 buttons. There's off, on with 1 light, there's the hologram light, full working lights, and then off again. There we go. So that's enough about R2 himself and the detail. Let's have a look at how you put the accessories on. So before getting into your accessories, what I would suggest is finding this particular accessory, because this is going to be your friend. So some of the panels are actually magnetized. They have little magnets on the doors. This has a magnet on the end of it. And what we're going to essentially do is use this to open them. That one's got a magnet, but it's not actually open, so I'm going to have to look into that one. But we've got same one here. There we go. Just like magic. And even the little blue bits here. And there. And then also the side panels. And nothing else actually has. Oh, look, there we are. There's no. There's one around the back which is spring loaded, and we'll look into that shortly. But yeah, let's get all those many accessories attached and see what it looks like. Well, as fiddly as that was, it's very satisfying. I will say that certain ones will have slight difficulty with. These two here are quite sort of top heavy on the ends, because they've got the most sort of plastic and metal there, and they tend to sort of, because it's using magnets on most of them, they tend to want to attract each other. So that can be quite tricky. However, I'm actually impressed with how it looks when he's kind of in a state of everything out on show, especially with the lights on. It looks amazing. One thing I will say is there are sort of issues where the doors, when you're closing the doors, make sure not to push them too hard, because it might find it's difficult to get them open again without a really fine nail, or like something pointed. So that would be one thing. However, these are beautiful, and as part of that, we've got the C3PO section where the cable goes into the back. They could do with having this going further in, so you've got a bit more sort of purchase to it. So it's, you know, you're definitely not going to sort of pull it out if you moved it along. But that, yeah, it works. It works. And it's really easy to take out. You literally pop it out, all done. And as you can see from the back, you've got some other bits. So you've got your lights on. Let's close him up there. This was a really nice touch. So this one here is his little telescope thing, and which you probably see most in things like Empire Strikes Back in the Dagobah, where he's underwater, it'll pop up. But yeah, that's simply, you push it out, sorry, push it down, and it clicks. And it doesn't look, it's, you know, it's not raised or anything, so you wouldn't know it's there when it's closed. But you click it, you pull, it has like a looseness to it to start off with, then you just continue pulling ever so slightly, make sure not to pull it out, and it locks into place. And you've got some really nice detail on that one. It's yeah, it's got a nice gloss detail on the lens, really easy to use. I actually would be tempted to have that one out. And the light, and then this one is another favourite. This one isn't a magnet, the antenna isn't a magnet. Let's have a look. The antenna is like a plug-in. So for the jet boosters, these simply come away, they do click into place, and then these have little slots for the boosters. There we go. And then you also have, whoops, then you also have a little clip down here. So boosters are on, and legs have been changed, well, moved, and here we put him on the flights, and it's quite it wobbles. It's very sturdy plastic, and it's nice that they've done like a see-through thing, but as you can see, he's precariously on there, and you can obviously move around. You can also try him the other way, which is a bit sturdier, I'd say, and you can move his legs so the jets are going straight down. But as you can see, he wobbles. I would love to show him in flight mode permanently, but I don't feel that every time I walk past I feel like he would wobble. Every time I walk past I think he would wobble, and that would make me very, very nervous. But it's a nice touch. If I was going to take photographs, I'd probably use this and then Photoshop it out, because it doesn't get in the way of anything. Like I say, it's very well balanced and sturdy, it just bounces a lot. And for how much I paid for him and for the weight of him, I wouldn't risk it at this point. But yeah, really nice addition, Hot Toys. Thanks for putting that in there and thinking, you know, going that little extra mile in regards of accessories. But next, I want to, so as I said at the beginning of the video, I've actually owned the Sideshow version from A New Hope for a few years now. And I want to show the comparison and maybe give you a little idea of why I've decided to upgrade finally, which I do consider this an upgrade after getting it out of the box like this. So R2, or Hot Toys R2, I'm afraid I'm going to have to introduce you to your long lost cousin, R2. So this is the R2-D2 that I had from Sideshow. I've been happy with it. It's been on display in one position next to my C3PO, which is just in the background there, which is a Japanese import, fully die-cast C3PO. And yeah, he's served me well. He's kind of, he is, you know, grubbed up. He's been weathered. But you can probably hear on camera straight away, he sounds very kind of plasticky, and he's super light, like really, really super light. The limbs stay where they're put. They've got like a kind of very sort of sturdiness to the joints. However, straight away the difference is obvious, and this is an issue I've had with this for a long time. Anytime you move it, everything kind of like falls out. So it's like everything's a bit loose and a bit fancy free, and it just kind of, yeah. This doesn't use magnets. It does come with accessories. I'll put in a photo right here, which is a picture of the accessories it comes with, which are quite impressive. And to be honest, I'm not going. Usually, I sell on when I replace a particular figure, and it's not drastically different in regards of the looks. I will keep it, and this one I will be definitely keeping because he comes with the Jabba's Sail Barge sort of drinks service set, and he also comes with the Princess Leia hologram set. So I can't deny that the actual accessories that come with the Sideshow one, if you're looking for a basic R2 with weathering, nice detail, and some great accessories on the secondary market, you could probably get him around about £150, I believe, sometimes cheaper, because a lot of people now are going for the R2. He does come with batteries, but they've been dead for a long time. And straight away, feeling the dome, I mean, you can see the dome, it looks quite nice on camera, but in person it does look more plasticky. You can see seams, there's a bit of a shine, but nowhere near kind of like what you get on R2 here. It's more of a frosted effect. Also the, there you go, one. Also the hollow emitters, they, rather than having the screen accurate dome sort of glass effect inside, they have just a flat sort of what looks like plastic essentially. The lights, from what I remember, the lights were fine on it. It wasn't particularly strong, they worked, but that was about it. But let's crack him open. Like, so for this one, it's weird, it's like you have to hold the neck piece and then it kind of comes away, and you'll see it's got those two sort of similar cylinders, but everything about this is very plasticky. Oh, there you are, the lights are still working. So, not dissimilar. I would say that these ones are a little, well, the circles are brighter. It does a fairly good job with that one, but as you can see, there's no light coming out of that back one or the front one. Yeah, it just feels very, everything's loose, like, and straight away you can see the accessories. It comes with the same kind of scopes and antenna, and it also has an attachment here, which this one has, but you don't get the Luke Skywalker lightsaber. It has an attachment here where you press down and you can have the spring-loaded lightsaber goes in there. But again, this is, it feels like it's, well, it already feels like it's broken, even though it's not. It's just very loose and just slips back into place. Same with that one, but they come out straight away. Yeah, so I would be on the, as a collector, I would sort of say it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for something that's just going to be static but cheap and cheerful, maybe you can do your own weathering added to it. I would sort of go with the Sideshow. Maybe it's cheaper. It's, you know, you're talking about 100 or so cheaper at the moment. Just gonna put his head back on. Where is it? See again. Very difficult to. Come on. There we go. And you can see there, even when he's attached, it still kind of like pulls away. So yeah. So to finish, I will say definitely the R2-D2 Clone Wars. So Attack of the Clones is the winner for me. Just in regards of build, in regards of accessories, versatility, sturdiness, finish. Sideshow is going to be your one that you could get if you want to have just a basic museum pose, or if you're looking for one which is going to have the Jabba's Palace accessories to use. I'm going to get those out of storage later on, and I'm going to basically set that up in my Return of the Jedi's sort of collection. And yeah, I'm really pleased with both of them, but I'm so happy I took the plunge and finally got this one. I'm going to be posing him for the moment. He's going to be posed with my diecast C3PO, so I'm probably going to keep him in this kind of standard pose. But let me know, what will you do with yours? If you've got the Sideshow, how do you display him? Are you looking to upgrade, which I would consider it being an upgrade? And if you've got one of the current R2s from Hot Toys, what do you hope that they release in the future in regards to R2? Because obviously we've had like a plethora of accessories at this point. whether it be, do you want to Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary to go with the C-3PO? Let me know in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, it's really appreciated that you hang around. We are going to be doing more Star Wars unboxings in the coming months. I'm a regular Hot Toys buyer and Sideshow buyer, and also other merch for Star Wars, and we always post things on Instagram and Twitter as well, and so you can find us on there as Robbo and Gent on Twitter, and Aussie Robbo and the English Gent on Instagram, and we'd love to see you there as well. Leave your comments down below. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you next time for another unboxing.